People want to hear from that. The people that's doing business in two different states.
I still don't have a degree. My friend told me to start a cleaning company. I started it and loved it. A lot of my jobs are based on the state government. I started working with the Department of Human Services, so my income might triple.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it is. And how I'm finding those jobs is just email alerts. A lot of people be like, oh, you need to stay away from government contracts because they go to the lowest bidder. Although they are the lowest bidder, you can still profit off of it.
So would you recommend government contracts for somebody who's just now starting out?
I say go for it with no experience, just going with that low price. And then on top of that, you got to realize the competition rate that you're going against. Another thing about government jobs, they last 4 years. They can last up to 4 years. So that's another reason why I like it.
That's huge, man. You killing it, bro. I love it. I'm glad when I know a lot of my newer people watching is gonna be excited.
So that's why I say CBN is good for networking. You can get you a friend that's close to your area, get you some subcontractors, and like I say, just ask questions.
Headed to the top, there ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. I'm flashing for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.
What's up, y'all? AJ Simmons here, back with another great interview for you guys. And today's guest is a repeat guest. He's been here before. He killed it on the first interview, and he been a CBN and just been networking, and he been sharing his wisdom. And we said, we got to get this guy back on here, man, because he's full of knowledge, full of gems. And I'm like, man, let's go ahead and not only get him back on here and check back in, see how his business is going, but also get some of this knowledge about this new stuff that he's been finding out about, alternative way to get more cleaning contracts for yourself. So without further ado, please welcome the owner of Aquaman Cleaning, Mr. Christian Gilbert. What's up, Christian?
Hey, what's up, AJ and CBN? How everybody doing today?
What's up, bro? I appreciate you coming back on. And did I get the company name right? Because, I'm freestyling this one today. I ain't looking at no notes. Is it Aquaman Cleaning or did I say it wrong? I know it's Aquaman.
Okay, right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So for those who may not remember or who might have missed the first interview, just kind of remind us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, the whole background, so to speak.
Okay, well, my name is, like you said, Christian Gilbert. I'm originally from Arkansas, Forest City, Arkansas, to be exact. Later on in my years, I moved to West Memphis, Arkansas. So I kind of grew up with that Memphis culture, seeing how the big city versus the small town. Like literally West Memphis, like 15 minutes away. I can go from a 10,000 populated city to like dang near a million just to drive over. So me growing up, and when I first initially got my LLC, it had my brain thinking, oh, you're going to make most of your money in Tennessee. So start off there in Memphis. Well, it didn't really turn out to that good. I didn't really like the way I was moving in Memphis, in Tennessee at first. And then I had my child, so I ended up started doing business in Arkansas. So now I got a foreign entity in Arkansas, and I have a original LLC in Tennessee. So now I'm legally obligated to do work in both states, which will lead us to some more conversations in the future.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, for sure. Because people want to hear from that. The people that's doing business in two different states. So we definitely gonna touch on that as we continue to grow. So what got you started into the cleaning industry in general?
Man, just didn't want to work a 9 to 5. Like I told you last interview, I was seeing all those people at Walmart with the badge that said 10 years, 20 years. I didn't have a degree. I didn't at the time, still don't have a degree. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to do this. So I was like, my friend told me to start a cleaning company. I started it and loved it. So.
Okay. And I remember you I know you probably like more than 10 years younger than me. I'm trying to remember. If you don't mind sharing, how old are you again, bro?
I'm 25.
That's what I thought. Okay, but yeah, because I just turned 37. So at 25, and then you were able to look and just see like these Walmart workers. Okay, bam, I don't want to be them in 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? So with that said, let me ask you this. Like, how has that experience been so far? Just being an entrepreneur and being, owning your own cleaning company. How has that been? Do you sometimes feel like, damn, I should just went ahead and went that corporate route or went the college route? Like, tell me how your experience has been so far with just going this route.
just like every other day. Some days I want to quit, some days I want to keep going. But I look at if I quit, I got so many employees and contractors under me. It's like I can't let them down. So it's like I can't now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some days it's overwhelming, especially since like I ended up getting a job last minute I wasn't even prepared for. So I got that while also putting in close to 10 bids in 1 month.
Wow.
Now that's been kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute though, because so since I'm freestyling, I forgot to do the number one question, right? Which is the growth. If you don't mind sharing, as of today, where are you guys on average as far as monthly revenue with your company?
Okay. As of today, well, like I just told you, I just won. I put in a lot of bids, so I ended up winning close to like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So when that goes in, you know, obviously my income will go in. But right now we're sitting at like 7,000.
Okay.
A little bit, 7,000, 7,100, something like that. But man, all those jobs that I just won that are officially won, it was 4 contracts, and that just literally doubled my income. So
wow, congrats on that, bro, for real.
Oh yeah, so I'll be close to about 13, 14 a month bringing in. So
okay, and you started your company how long ago again?
Man, shoot, don't give me the line. Maybe 3 years.
Right.
3, 4. Shoot.
Okay. So we doing roughly about, let's just say you basically at about 14 grand within a 3 year span. So that's not bad at all. You know what I mean? Well over the 6-figure range. So you're killing it.
I didn't look at it like that, but yeah, you're right. And then especially like I said, being in this region of Arkansas, you know, obviously it's slower. So I think that's pretty good. And in my age, so kind of maybe got to put a pat on my back.
For sure. For sure, man. You killing it. So let's talk about this. So, all right. When you first got started, tell us like how you found your first commercial cleaning customer, and then tell us now like what is your number one way for getting customers today?
Okay, so like as you know, a lot of my jobs are based off the state government.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up finding that job off of cold calling opportunity, contract off of cold calling opportunity, and once I landed that job, I started getting into their system and figuring out more and more about it. Then I was like, okay, I know there are different agencies in Arkansas, so let me reach out to this different agency. So now I started working with the Department of Human Services, which is how I ended up getting those 3 new jobs. And I'm putting in paperwork for 3 new ones. So hey, my income might triple.
Right.
Yeah. And it's that's how it is. And how I'm finding those jobs is just email alerts. And that's on the government side. And it's a new thing I've been getting into, public notice bids, because let's say, for example, my local school, they may not post through the sam.gov on the federal websites that they're having a cleaning. They post it through newspapers.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had shout out to William Wade. I actually have one of his crew members. They just dropped off some paperwork. We're working on submitting a bid for a school that we found through the newspaper.
That's crazy. Shout out to William Wade, CBN legend right there, man. I got to get him back on. I ain't heard from my boy in a while. But anyway, man, so let's talk about that, though. So you say you found them through the newspapers. So they don't have like a website portal that you go through for those, or is that a different process?
Well, it's an online newspaper.
Okay.
I dropped it in the group chat and the CBN. See, this is the thing about me. If I know it's a hidden gem, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna only keep it on there for a day because it's too powerful. You're gonna have to money for that. I also landed off that website. I also even landed a post construction job.
Yeah. So
their website is very, very powerful. It's I'll send it to you and let you look at it, but everybody else, y'all missed y'all opportunity on that one.
Right. Hey, you should have been in CBN. I mean, you should have been tapped in that day. If you ain't looking every day, you might miss something. I'm telling you. So y'all gotta be locked in with us. Now with those government contracts though, like, do you bid those any differently than you bid, any like private sector, or is it kind of the same process as far as pricing it?
Well, to be honest, I haven't even been in the private sector in a while. I just been I've been sick a little bit, so now I'm kind of recovering from that, getting my energy back, my motivation back. and my work ethic back. But most of them, like I said, it's just been pretty much all this year has been pretty much government and public notices. I had one or two maybe regular clients from my cold calling system, but it didn't. Obviously, I haven't started it yet, but
Yeah.
But I think I kind of bid them a little bit of the same. You know, I might go up a little bit more in the private sector just because I know that their money flow is different versus with the state jobs. They're more using our taxpayer dollars, so that's why they have to kind of budget themselves. But to me, a lot of people be like, "Oh, you need to stay away from government contractors because they go to the lowest bidder." Although they are the lowest bidder, you can still profit off of it. So, like for example, one of these jobs I just put in for like $1,500 a month. I know it's gonna take about an hour to 2 hours a day of cleaning. Pay them about $600 a month, $650 a month.
Yeah.
Supplies probably cost me about $500. So now I'm looking at $1,100 on supplies and paying someone. And with supplies, you're not gonna spend $500 every month on supplies.
Right.
So that gives me about a 30% profit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sitting here thinking like, shoot, you probably can get away with about $200 a month on supplies for real on that. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's crazy margin in there for real. I love that. All right, but now when it comes to the staffing part of it, I know sometimes with government contracts, they might say, they might ask you about your manpower. Do you have enough manpower to handle this jobs? Or they might ask you about like your current clientele. Can you handle X amount of square feet? Have you ran into any of that when you're dealing with the RFPs for these state contracts and these public notices?
Not really. It's mainly more so on the public notice side.
Okay.
One that I just submitted for a school, they wanted to, know how I was going to staff it, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But no, most of my builders only just require one person a day.
Yeah. Now,
if they're a married couple, they tend to bring their husband and wife. They'll work like that. But I'm okay with that as long as they let me know at the beginning.
Right.
That's pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I love the husband and wife team because you get a 2-for-1. For sure. All right. But now with that, also another thing I saw when you look at these government RFPs is, and when I say RFP for the viewers, a request for proposal or a request for bid, they might say RFP or RFB, same thing though. But anyway, when I look at those, sometimes they'll have like these stringent insurance requirements. So have you ran into any of that? And then if so, like what have you done to make sure that you got the insurance required, or was it extremely expensive? Let's kind of talk about that.
Nope. Insurance was pretty simple. I don't have any issues with my insurance. What I did was I just showed most of the government contracts are the same. They just, especially like what you're dealing with the same agency, all of mine are dealing with the Department of Finance and now the Department of Human Services. Mm-hmm. But if you're curious about make sure you want to do your insurance correctly, I would say just give your, like I did, give your insurance agent the contract, let him look at it and be like, okay, this is what you need. We can work with this. How many,
Yeah. Love that. How would you recommend somebody go about finding an insurance agent? I know this is a stupid question, but I got to ask for the audience.
Go local. Don't go to one of those big, broad insurance agencies. Go local. That's what I went at first. It was when I first started my company. I saw an ad that said insurance, business insurance. I was like, okay, let me sign up. It went good, but I don't have that personal connection. My local insurance agent, not only is he local, but he also has the right to, hey, I know this guy, Christian, come let him, you clean your building. That's a recommendation for one. Two, they know more about your local market more than the insurance company that's licensed in your state, but is stationed in New York. Yeah. So that kind of, I say go local. They'll help you out the most. Same with taxes, go local.
Yeah. And then, all right, and I'm going to keep asking about this government contract. I want to get everything out you that we can, right? So next one I got for you on the government contract is this. What about like, have they required you to have employees and not subcontractors? Like, have you run into contracts like that where they don't want you to sub it out? It has to be employees?
Not necessarily. No, I haven't. Not yet. They're cool with it. Main thing about the government, they just want their building clean.
Yeah.
At an affordable price.
Bet. Okay. Would you recommend government contracts to somebody who's just now starting out, or would you say get a little bit of experience under your belt first before you go after the government contracts?
I say go for it with no experience. There was actually government building was actually like my first commercial building. I went from Airbnbs to this.
Wow.
So hey, they asked for record, they asked for past performance. I just left it blank because I ain't had none.
Well,
And I
okay.
still got the job. Now I got a past performance.
Right. That's crazy because a lot of times too, when you're dealing with government RFPs, if you leave anything blank, they'll disqualify you just because you left it blank. You know what I mean? Even if you you could have put NA, but it's just because it's blank. I've seen in the past that they left it blank. So that's what's up that you were able to still put that off. I love that. Now,
Yeah, I was younger then. Now I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. I was probably like what 23, 22 when I first got into it. So I just put something down because I didn't know. And I think primarily like in my state, I think their main objective is just going with that low price. And then on top of that, you gotta realize the competition rate that you're going against. So another thing I want to say, I just finally won my first contract in the state of Tennessee. So as a contract, it's in Nashville, like a park 3,000 square foot building, Monday through Sunday, real simple. It's only going to take about 2 hours to clean, but I won that one. And I brought that up to say, that's why it's good to be LLC'd in 2 different states.
Yeah. Love that.
Now I can do my same thing I've been doing in Arkansas, because I have jobs all across Arkansas. It's only like 2 jobs in my city that I clean.
Yeah.
And I have a total of 12 everywhere. They're all like hours away.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So let me ask you this then, because I know sometimes they'll have pre-bid meetings. Have you been to any of the pre-bid meetings? And then if so, was it a lot of other, companies there to compete with you, or was it pretty much low competition in your area at those pre-bid meetings?
Yes. There are pre-bid meetings. That's why I brought up the Nashville. So in Nashville, their pre-bid meeting had about 6 people versus these ones in Arkansas. I just went to one in Arkansas last Friday with only 3 other companies.
Gotcha.
So once you see that, you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I know. And then you can look up the company like, okay, I know they're more of a higher up elite company versus Aquaman Cleaning. So I know they're higher up elite company. They're going to want to, more expenses because they're going to have to see me. I'm the owner, so I can go do my inspections. Their owner is not doing the inspections.
Right.
They're sending the manager, so that they have to get a cut. They also have what's the other things? Business administrators, so different other things.
Operation managers and all that. Yeah.
All those people got to get a cut. They might, it might $50 out their pot might go towards that. $50, you get what I'm saying? Versus me, I can kind of use my virtual assistants and streamline just a little different than they do.
Oh, that's a gem right there. So now I want to ask you this. So at them pre-bid meetings, are you kind of trying to sell yourself to the person that's kind of coordinating the meeting? Are you speaking to them at all? Or do you really not think that make a difference for the most part?
Well, technically you can't sell yourself to them because they don't have the decision, but I always speak to them. A lot, like I said, Arkansas is small. So the lady that I just met that did the walkthrough at the this building bid was actually in my hometown. And I actually knew her son. Me and her son, we used to do basketball when we were kids together. So obviously me and her spoke, but I wasn't trying to sell myself to her. Just hey, how you doing? So and so, just small talk. Because like I said, it's no point of selling it to them because the people that are over hiring you are in Little Rock. They're not there. Right. I never even met those ladies. I don't even know what they look like.
Right.
I got an email.
Yeah. Okay. But now, because you said something earlier and I didn't really touch on it, so I'm gonna touch on it now. And that was the fact that you said that y'all were cold calling, and that's how you kind of stumbled across the whole government biz in the first place. So can you kind of explain that process? Were y'all really just cold calling businesses in general, and then y'all mistakenly called a government agency and they told you, hey, well, if you want to bid, go here? Was it a deal like that? Or explain that whole process? Because typically cold calling is not the way, to get it to government contractors. So talk about your experience with that.
Yeah, it's exactly how you said it, AJ. I was calling random builders. I didn't even know the child support had something to do with the state.
Right.
I was just calling random buildings because, like I said, I had just moved down to this area. and they didn't call me back. They said over the phone, it's like, yes, Mr. Gilbert, we got a walkthrough coming up next Friday. You need to email this lady to get the paperwork. Woo woo woo. And I did it, and I won it, and I've been in there for 2 years. Like I said, another thing about government jobs, they last 4 years. They can last up to 4 years. So that's another reason why I like it.
That's huge, man. You killing it, bro. I love it. I'm glad, Andrew. Shout out to Andrew for recommending me to do this with you, because this is great stuff to know. And I know a lot of my my newer people watching is gonna be excited. And I mean, to hear this, like, damn, okay, I can do this government stuff as a new company doing it. So that's what's up, bro. All right, now what's up?
Okay, let me say something on that. And I'm not trying to get all too political here, because I know we got some Trump supporters, we got some Trump haters.
Right.
One thing Trump did do when he lifted that equal opportunity, now you don't have to have that past performance. You can be a newcomer coming into the government agency. It's more open now. So I do want to say that.
Thanks for saying that. And as a matter of fact, Eric Coffey, who I used to bring on a lot for this talk about government contracts, he always said that, in his opinion, it's better to bid on government contracts without those preferences and all of that anyway. And I forget the reason why he said it, but basically he was saying, because if you look at the people who've won most of the business in the past, they didn't have all of those preferences anyway. So it's like, just compete on being a good business versus competing on, oh, I'm a minority, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that. Just compete off of being a good business and bidding your job correctly and all of that. So appreciate you sharing that part. All right, now I want to share this. I want to ask you this too. Let me see what else I got for you before we go to the lightning round. Let's see what we got here. As far as subcontracting and employees, it sounds like you said you got both. So what made you go that route?
Just because like I said, the jobs are so far away. Mm-hmm. So around close to my Little Rock area, Little Rock that's the state capital. They have a lot of decent cities and a lot of surrounding cities. So I have a subcontractor there that take care of some buildings around there. Around Little Rock area. And the reason I did it that way is honestly just so I won't have to drive down there and do inspections. Right. Just be honest with you. And then I can go ahead and like I said, if you're not doing anything, then this is another thing I want to say. I started modeling my company after what these big companies are doing, but onto my scale. They have accounts that they only make like $25 a month.
Wow.
Now I'm not doing that.
Wow.
But it's about, because they have so many jobs come in, they all help fill in the pot. So that's changed my mentality. Kind of like how you said, it was an old video. You said you can go with the Chick-fil-A model, or you can go with the McDonald's model.
Yep.
We serving you good, but you're gonna have a lower price than Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I've been doing it. Just going by a numbers game. If I'm able to profit $600, $700 a building without having to do anything, hey, I think I won.
Facts. And a lot of people don't get that. Most people trying to get rich off of one contract, and they looking at, but as big as that building is, I should be making this. And they looking at that title. Well, I'm the CEO, so I should be making this. And it's like, no, you can't make more than what the company actually generates in revenue. You want to make more, then go get more buildings versus just trying to get everything out of this two little contracts. So no, I like that. And again, it's multiple ways to skin a cat. Some people, they want to charge premium price and have less businesses. And then other people like me and you as well, it sounds like we'd rather go, well, let's do volume selling then. We can get more contracts. As long as I'm getting some and I'm not the one doing the cleaning, who really cares? You know what I mean? So
that's another reason why I kind of started doing business in Tennessee, because I had that model in Arkansas and it's been paying off pretty well. So I was like, man, you know what? Let's try it in Tennessee. And literally the first week I signed up for Edison, which is Tennessee's online portal. This is the thing, I say this real quick. If you're wanting to get into government contract with your state, just type in Florida. You type in Florida procurement. That's how you get in.
Yep.
And like I said, now I was licensed in Tennessee. And I just say, let me start getting these jobs. So I got a couple of subcontractors that I'm already waiting on. Like, I know you saw that I put a bid in for me and Mark. That wasn't a government job, but it was a public notice bid. But you get same model.
Yep. Okay, bet. Now let me ask you this, because I know. So I always when we schedule the interviews, And on that little scheduling thing, I'll ask you, do you have anything to promote? You said no. So I want to ask you this instead. I know that, well, actually, before I ask you that, I'm going to ask you this. How has being in Clean Biz Network helped you at all with your cleaning company?
It helped me by I can go having other cleaning entrepreneurs to talk to about a certain question. Like I just mentioned, Mark, that's one of my good friends, now best friend that I met through the CBN. I can just me and him probably talk at least about 3 days a week. Sometimes I get tired of talking to the man. No, I don't get tired of talking to him. But we talk a lot. We talk like he might be in the building working and talking, because you can't really talk too much, especially being in the building by yourself. You can't really, or you can't, or if you're working with someone, you can't really talk to them how you want to. Me and him, we can talk more freely. We can be like, man, I'm trying to work on this and that. His employees wouldn't understand that. They'd be like, man, you're doing too much. But me, I'm like, no, Mark, you need to do more. Or he'll be like, no, Christian, you need to do more. You can do it this way. Like last night, we had a conversation for about maybe 45 minutes. I had stumbled across this website for post-construction cleaning. And me and him, we had a discussion on how we can attack that together.
Yeah.
So that's why I say CBN is good for networking. You can get you a friend that's close to your area, get you some subcontractors. And like I said, just ask questions.
That's what's up. I love it. Shout out to Mark, by the way. Y'all been building that bond since the beginning. I think y'all both joined around the same time too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Like maybe 2 or 3 months apart. He was first and I was second, something like that. Yeah, but we still rocking with you.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. Appreciate that. Now, with that said, I wanted to follow up, and I know you said you didn't have anything to promote, but I gotta ask, at some point, do you think you might be interested in doing like some type of class or course or some type of joint venture, even if you did it with us? Like, would you put that, guide people into getting into government contracts or public notices or anything like that? You see anything like that on the horizon for yourself?
Man. I feel like I'm being chosen to do it.
Right.
I don't feel like I have a choice at this point now. I will say I do love helping people. And then now as I'm getting older, I'm realizing my role in my life is changing, in not only my life, but in other people's lives. Yeah. Instead of me being more of a teacher, instead of me being more of a learner, I think it's time for me to kind of transition into a teacher. Yeah. So with that being said, I am slowly but surely, I'm just trying to figure out how I can mark it up. Yeah. Like, how in yourself, you kind of feel like you're not there. But as I talk to other people, y'all saying you are there, trying to get me to dig it out. I'm on the surface. I just got to figure out how I can really do the videos and how I want my content to be. Because that's just the biggest thing. Just trying to figure out how I want to go about it. Like, since I do a lot of public notice bids, I could just screen record myself, online on my computer, doing my due diligence. Yeah. Since you think that's a good idea, what software would you recommend me use for that?
Yeah, so I use Ice. Yeah, I use Ice Cream. It's not cream as popular, but it's called Ice Cream. I think you pay like it's like a one-time fee. It ain't no monthly subscription and none of that. You pay for it, you get the license. I think it was only like it might have been like $50 or something like that, and then you're done.
Okay. Yeah. I just got that wrote down.
But yeah, Ice Cream is good. I'm trying to think of some other ones I be using because I use multiple different things. I do StreamYard sometime too, but the problem with StreamYard is you online, so the video might be a little, depending on your internet connection. Okay. Yeah. What's up, y'all? I'm AJ Simmons, founder of the Clean Biz Network, and the reason why I started the 1010 program is because I get it. Starting a business can be scary, it can be risky, and you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So with the 1010 program, I decided, you know what? Let's guarantee you success. Let's put you together with a one-on-one mentor. Let's give you unlimited leads, and let's guarantee you that you can get to at least 10 grand a month in contracts. So whether you're already in business or whether you haven't even gotten started yet, the 1010 program can work for you and assure you that you will grow at least by $10,000 per month in recurring commercial cleaning contracts. So if this sounds like something that you want to do, click that button below and go ahead and book a call with me. And listen, this is not like a franchise opportunity. These will be your accounts that you actually own, not some franchise middlemaning you. This is actually a guarantee. These will be your actual contracts. This will be your actual business, okay? So click the button below and schedule your call, and let's see if we're a right fit for each other. All right, cool. So we're going to jump into this lightning round. The way the lightning round works is I'm going to say a word or a phrase, and then you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. First one is Arkansas.
Arkansas, country.
Okay. Tennessee.
Opportunities.
Okay. Subcontracting or employees?
Mm. Help. Gold mine. Help.
Okay, bad. It's just oh wow. Which one would you choose rather?
It's kind of both in the same situation. I go gold mine.
Okay.
Because without them, you won't have your gold mine.
Okay. Would you? All right, bam. The other one I got for you. Let's see. Let's do the best decision you've made in business so far.
Not having fear, not holding back.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was kind of 2 words.
Right. Yeah, it's cool. All right. Worst decision you've made in business so far.
Worst. I don't have none. Maybe the hiring a person.
Certain people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one. Which is better for you? Do you like Airbnb's the best or commercial cleaning the best?
Oh, commercial cleaning. I never go back to an Airbnb. I thought about it the other day after I talked to somebody, but I was like, no, I had too many hiccups with it. It requires too much. They want you to go behind each person and inspect the building. Ain't nobody got time for that. With government contracts, you can inspect the building just once a month according to the contract.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do that.
Right. No, for sure though. That's what I never really got into Airbnbs. I never really got in, like I did a little residential, but it's like at the end of the day, to me, nothing just compares to doing regular good old fashioned office cleaning. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Your favorite book?
I don't have a favorite book, but I will say this. I saw that Mario Kelly just dropped the book.
Yep.
He a CBN member too, I believe. I'm gonna go ahead and check that book. That's like $7 on Amazon. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, next one. Your favorite YouTube channel to watch other than mine or yours?
With my one video.
Right.
Let me see. Who will be my favorite? I like watching like a lot of alpha male strategies videos with AMS. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Tenacity Clean. I like to watch Fix Fearless. Gideon. I watch some of him.
Okay.
Who else is someone I watch on YouTube? Oh, and just of course there's music. Just listen to music on YouTube. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Love that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off with this one I always ask everybody. Top 5 rappers all time.
Top 5 rappers all time. Ooh. Let's say I'm gonna go with of course I'm gonna have to go with Dolph. You don't have to go with Dolph.
Okay. Memphis it is.
got to go with Dolph. Moneybag.
Okay.
You know, YTB Fact. He's from West Memphis. We actually not from the same area, but you know, we're from the same town.
Okay.
Who else is someone that I like to listen to a lot? And a lot of local artists. I like to listen to my partner Big Ant. I listen to him a lot. That's 4. I'm gonna have to. I don't really listen to too much old music. I ain't even gonna lie. Before 2005, I don't listen to that. I don't like that slow beat. You catch me with that. Oh, then I guess I'm gonna have to go since I'm going old. I guess I'll go with Lil Wayne or Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, bet. Fair enough. All right, bad. So we're gonna switch back to the clean business stuff. But anyway, so all right, if somebody I got 2 things for you. If you lost everything that you had, all of the contracts you got to start all over from scratch. What would you do to get back to the point that you are today?
So back in the cleaning company, or do it go towards the field?
It could be you can do another cleaning company. You can do something else, but you'll go and you got all the knowledge that you got now, but you just got to start over with nothing and try to get to the point that you are today as far as revenue goes.
Okay. So we'll just hypothetically say somehow my LLC got shut down. Right. I would probably, since it's just shut down in one state, I would go to another state and just hit up the government.
Yeah.
Like maybe a Texas, a Missouri, somewhere that's kind of close but not too far, and just work like that. I'll probably still just go the same route with government contract, because one thing I'll say about government contract, government has always been is the oldest client.
Yeah.
You know, they've been since my grandfather, he had a cleaning company back in the 80s, 70s, whatever. But his main contract was the government. I mean, if he, a black man back then that can make a nice little amount of chump change, was dealing with the government, why can't we in 2025 still do it? And with all these new regulations and uplifts that they got going on.
No, facts, bro. I got a book. I'm trying to see if I can find it. It ain't around me though, but it's about this guy named I want to say it's James Barfield. I know his last name is Barfield though. And he had one of the oldest cleaning companies way back in the day. And then he eventually went into the tech field and started the Bar Tech Group. But his biggest company was the government. And he started from nothing. His grandparents were slaves, built $1 billion company. Then you got Elon Musk. Same thing with SpaceX and all of those, the government. You look at Boeing. Boeing, one of the biggest companies in the world, government. Oracle, government. So, and shout out to Eric Coffey. He pointed this out at the last Clean Biz Network conference. And I was like, damn, you know what, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to build a huge company without doing business with the government. So I agree with you 1,000% on that.
Yeah, and they're going to get your taxes anyway. So why not make some service out of them?
Might as well. You know what I mean? Might as well. All right. If you if you had to tell somebody that's listening to this video or listening to the podcast and they thinking about getting started, but they just scared to make that jump, what advice would you give to that person right now?
I would tell them, the longer you're scared, the deeper you're getting yourself into your hole, financial hole. Because let's say if you're like, oh, I need some money to, so I, progress my family. Hey, if you constantly thinking about it and having fear, you're still in the same situation, Yep.
No, I love it. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, Christian. Everybody, make sure y'all go follow his journey, Mr. Christian Gilbert with Aquaman Cleaning. Hey, Christian, let us know how can we follow your journey going forward.
You can follow my business page on Instagram, Facebook. It'll be like Aquaman Cleaning, maybe Aquaman Cleaning 223. I am on TikTok too. However, I haven't posted any videos in a while. I got to get back onto my posting.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's just something within me because, like I said, I was telling my mom the other day, she was telling me, you need to start back posting. I got her on TikTok now. She got 2,000 followers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make comedy content. So
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, she was telling me I was doing pretty good, but like I was telling her, since I just do the same 3 buildings, it's like I don't really know how I can make it too fancy. But yeah. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Maybe I can, one day I just show a video of me cleaning a toilet, and then on top of it, like I said, my building's a government, so I can't really show too much.
Yeah,
which is kind of hard.
Yeah, or maybe you could just do the information style, like how I've been doing, for all these years, and maybe that might hit home somehow. So, but
yeah, either way, you just dropped the other day, riding around in the car, dropping some gems.
There you go. Know what I mean? And just drop it that way sometime if you got to. But I'm sure people will get some value from it. But I appreciate you coming on, bro. Thank you so much for coming back and updating us on your progress. Sound like you killing it, just like I knew you would from the first interview. So congrats on that. Also, thank you, too, for being an actual active member in CBN. A lot of people come through, get started with us, find some success, and then they just kind of disappear. So I want to thank you personally, for keeping us going and being one of the top contributors in the group. So thank you for that.
No problem. Yeah, I just try to CBN help me, so I want to share the blessing with other people and just tell them that it is an alternative route to finding clients without just cold calling or going door to door. Because I see that a lot of people are discouraged by that, like, oh, cold calling doesn't work in my area, door to door doesn't work in my area. Well, how about go an hour and try that? Why not try to sell to the government? They need the services. And if you guys need help with the government, I would do this. This is another hidden gem. I'm glad we waited to the end because they need to stay and listen for this.
There you go.
Go on Google and type in Apex Accelerator and add your state. That is a agency that is required to help businesses get connected to the government, whatever service that they have.
There you go. See, that's exactly why y'all got to stay to the end, man. I appreciate that, Jim, right there. In Clean Biz Network fashion, well, we on gatekeep over here. We like to share the information. So make sure y'all go search that Apex Accelerator, type in your state name, and he can help you that's going to probably help you get in the door with the government contract, just like Christian, man. All right, bro. I appreciate you for coming on.
All right, no problem, man.
All right, you have a good one. Are you looking to start your own cleaning company? Or maybe you started your cleaning company, but you just need a support group, some mentorship, some guidance. Hell, a bidding calculator just to help you know if you're pricing the job correctly. Join us at cleanbiznetwork.app. That's www.cleanbiznetwork.app today and get on the right track with your cleaning company. We have everything you could possibly need to get you going in the right direction and see why we've been the leading cleaning business consulting company for the past 5 years and why they call me, AJ Simmons, the cleaning business GOAT. So I can help you just like I've helped and my company has helped thousands of other people start and grow their cleaning companies. Go to the number one source today, www.cleanbiznetwork.app. Thank you.